In this video, we will be going over the new Axial SCX24 Lexus GX 470, and I'm quite excited for this one. We're going to get out and drive it, we're going to have a cool music montage, and then I will give you my final driving impressions of it. So sit back, relax, enjoy. This is Casey's Cozy Garage. Hello, welcome to Casey's Cozy Garage, and I wanted to do a really quick low-effort video on the new Axial SCX24 Lexus GX 470. Now, what's really cool about this thing is that it is the same Axial SCX24 that we have all grown to love, and some of you out there seem to hate. It seems that whenever Axial releases another one of these, they don't change much and people are really upset. But I really want to explain to some people that, hey, the fact that these don't change much is what makes them super modifiable. Most Axial SCX24s have interchangeable parts with each other, and the aftermarket is huge. So I personally think it's a good thing that they stay the same. We get the same steel channel chassis rails, and we get the same axles, the same hubs. We get new wheels and tires with this one. They are licensed, both of them, so I think the wheels are Black Rhino is what I've been told, and the tires are Nitto Trail Grapplers, but in some different size, I guess. We also get a battery tray I've never seen before. This one might have been in the Bronco, but I like that the battery is further forward. I know it's a little bit more up high, but hey, you know, I might be modifying this at some point. We get the same terrible servo. This is something they really do need to upgrade, in my opinion, but you know, whatever. We get new molded bumpers by DeMello Off-Road, and I really love these because my first 10th scale truck was an Element Night Runner with the licensed DeMello bumpers. So these are really cool, and the clearance of these bumpers is actually one of the best bumpers I think to ever come on an SCX24. Like, yeah, I probably won't be removing this one. This one looks like it has really good approach angle, and same with the rear bumper. It has a really good departure angle. It has a trailer hitch, so you can use it with the flatbed, the Axial flatbed. But the real thing we're all here for, if you wanted this like I did since it got announced, was that this body is literally excellent. I thought FMS had good bodies, and they do, but wow, the paint work on this body, like this silver really pops, and trust me, it pops more in person than it does on camera. But the metallic nature of this paint job is just fantastic. And a couple of small details that I really want to point out here is, check out these crates. They don't open, but they're nice and solid, and they're quite hollow, so it gives you this scale detail without having to add too much weight up top. Just like the Bronco, we have the traction boards that can come off with the greatest of ease, just like that. So you can use both of these when you're stuck, or if you want to save a little weight, then there's a quick little hack you can do. You can take off those traction boards, and then don't have to worry about those extra couple little grams right at the top right there. It's got a little ladder. It's got a very tiny ladder that I'm sure I'll be climbing up at some point. And some other cool details in the back, that it's not just molded, but we have a chrome trim piece here, just like the real one. I think that these tail lights have details that are tampographed on them, so those are not stickers, which makes it look really nice. Actually, I really like the extra detail of like adding some little black detail right there, because from a distance it kind of looks like it's part of the tail light housing, but when you get really close, you can actually appreciate that that is a tampograph sticker on there, which ain't bad. The rear windshield wiper is actually a molded piece, which is really neat, and the front windshield wipers are also molded as well. We get some mirrors with this one. These seem relatively strong. I won't be comping this truck, so we shouldn't be knocking them off too fast. And then we also have this snorkel right here. We get really deep light buckets on this one, and it's kind of weird to see a Lexus GX because these cars are nearing 20 years old at this point, but it's really cool to see one with such clear headlights because all of the ones around Colorado have yellowed because we have high altitude and the ozone layer doesn't protect us as much up here. These are really clear. The grille is 3D. It's very 3D. I think it's a separate molded piece. It's really cool how the front of the body, it does have Velcro, and I'm not the biggest fan of Velcro. I would personally rather have a clip, but I get that this looks better. What's really cool about this bumper is, unlike some of the other Velcro bodies, this one actually self-aligns itself. So if you get the front of the body in the bumper correctly and get it on there, it is always going to be centered along the axle, which is something that has annoyed me about the Velcro bodies out there. We get molded, I think those are molded, yeah, those are molded door handles as well, and then we have this molded separate roof rack that also holds these extra gas containers as well. Another cool feature about this is they actually gave us sliders from the factory, which is pretty cool. I enjoy driving with sliders. My competition trucks don't run sliders. I think you could get a little bit of more ground clearance and performance if you run boat sliders or no sliders, but that being said, these sliders are really fun. It's really fun to like grind those sliders on some rock scale. And yeah, I mean, I just have so much experience with the Axial SCX24 that I'm pretty sure I know how this one is going to drive, and we will get it out to drive it later. One more thing that I'm kind of concerned about is that these oil shocks, first of all, they feel really great, but the problem is I have driven, at the time of me recording this right now, I have driven this a total of 15 minutes on top of my keyboard right here, and this shock has already leaked. So it is not as supple as the other shocks right now, and I wiped it clean, but yeah, this shock is leaked already, dang it. And that is kind of a perpetual problem with plastic bodied oil shocks, in my opinion, especially at this size. But fortunately, I guess it's something, when you're dealing with something at this scale that goes this slow, because this truck is not a race car, it still dampens. It's still not as bouncy as not having an oil shock at all. So you know what, whatever, we're gonna just run with these, and maybe we'll get some Pro lines or some Next Racing shocks or whatnot at some point else. Yeah, I'm just really excited to drive this. This Spectrum 2-in-1 ESC was not as bad as I last remembered. I remember that there used to be a really bad one in the AX24 that even made upgraded motors feel jumpy and overheat them. This one doesn't feel quite as bad as I remember those, but maybe it's because it still has this stock motor in it. So I'm going to run this stock motor until it burns out, basically, because these are essentially disposable. And we will be upgrading this with another 030 brush motor by Mofo RC, and then hopefully, if this ESC doesn't work, I have kind of that SCX24 Gen 2 ESC sitting around that we can upgrade this with. The lights are quite nice right here, and you get 4 lights, so the fog lights and the headlights all light up together. And yeah, that is basically what we got right here. This is absolutely a looker. I can't wait to get it out on the rocks and scratch it up, I guess, and see what kind of performance we can get out of it with reasonable mods, which will come in some episodes later. Yeah, let's go outside and drive it. Heck yeah.
Something about this
honestly, I think the performance of these things is a little bit better than I remember. It is a little bit tippy, but I thought it was going to be way worse. Like, look, we might be able to actually like pull this line, and that is some really chunky rock right there. Yeah, and I can definitely tell that the battery is in the front on this version compared to other stock SCX24s, because it's able to climb a little bit steeper than my stock JLU used to back in the day on some of these lines over here. Since the friction force is the coefficient of friction, which is the tire compound, times the normal force, which is the weight pushed into the compound, I think because this is a hard body, we actually have more grip out of these tires than we normally would have with a lighter vehicle. So I think that's a weird benefit of having this. Yeah, and honestly, it's really not as bad. It is a little bit more unpredictable than you know, a fully built competition rig, but like I said, it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. Once again, like, I know we want more out of these, but at the same time, I think it's great that Axial's keeping them quite the same. But yeah, performance wise, this thing rocks. This thing absolutely rocks. I love it. I love it. This is everything I wanted out of Axial. They finally did a Toyota, and I can't wait to get some reasonable upgrades. We might be doing the wheels and tires at some point, but I really like how this looks for now. So yeah, thanks for watching. I've been Casey from Casey's Cozy Garage. Remember to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I want to push to 800 subscribers. Well, stay happy, stay healthy, and I hope that you have a good day. Stay tuned for part 2 where we start upgrading this a little bit.